Welcome back to another episode of the What We're Watching podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Jeni, and today we're watching Cadet Kelly.
I loved rewatching this. This was one of my favorite Disney Channel original movies growing up. How about you?
Oh, same. Absolutely. I thought they were so cool.
So cool. And I like this movie is so deeply cringe watching it as an adult. But it's so nostalgic that I love it so much anyway. And I would watch it again like tomorrow, even though we just watched it.
Oh, 100%. I've actually watched this movie twice in the past couple months, so.
So it holds up.
It does. It does. It's a fun one.
Quick reminder, if you guys have been enjoying the podcast, to leave us a 5-star rating and a good review, because it means a lot to us, and we love hearing from you guys. Okay, so the logline for this movie is, at the behest of her new stepfather, Joe, a straight-laced ex-military man hell-bent on teaching her discipline, easygoing teenager Kelly Collins enrolls in the George Washington Military Academy. Kelly struggles to adjust to the demands of her new environment while facing the abuse of her commanding officer, Jennifer Stone. Kelly almost drops out until she falls for a hunky classmate and decides to join the drill team.
Question. What did you think of Jennifer Stone when you were a kid?
I thought she was like mean and scary, but also cool.
I just remember thinking she was terrifying.
Yeah.
And now I'm watching it, I'm like, go Jennifer.
I did not get that vibe this time. Although maybe I should have. Maybe the like more evolved thing would be like, yeah, you're so assertive. Way to go, Jennifer.
No, there's some things she does that are unforgivable, but I felt like I saw the humanity in her this time, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't. But also I think I was just so thrown seeing Christy Carlson Romano on my screen again. And honestly, in the very beginning of the movie, we find out that she is only 16 in this. I think they call her like the scariest 16-year-old you've ever seen. And like that just got so in my head the whole time where I just like could not believe that she was only 16. Because to me, when I watched this growing up, she was so old and scary.
Totally.
So it threw me off.
Yeah, that's so funny. This movie came out in 2002, and like we said, it's a Disney Channel original movie. It actually came out between Double Teamed and True Confessions, which I love both of those, by the way.
I don't remember either of those.
Really? Double Teamed, you might actually remember. It's the two blonde basketball twins.
No.
Doesn't ring any bells?
No. Sports related, I was not watching it unless it was High School Musical.
And I want to say True Confessions had Shia LaBeouf in it when he was little.
Huh. I'll have to go back and look. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys will have to let me know. Am I crazy for remembering those two, or do you remember them too?
Yeah, also quick pause. Please message us on Instagram your favorite Disney Channel original movies, because we were just talking about ours, and I feel like it's such a personal opinion, your favorite one, because so many people have seen so many of them but not seen other ones, and it just feels like such a like, I don't know, it feels like such a weird like glitch that some people feel so connected to some of them and then have like everyone else hasn't seen them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Megan, what's your favorite?
My favorite is Stuck in the Suburbs.
I love that one. I also like Read It and Weep.
Yeah.
That one has a Panabaker in it too, right? Actually, both of them.
Yes, it does. Yep.
But I think my favorite one was one of those niche ones that not a lot of people knew. And I think that's why I liked it so much, because it was never on. And so when it was on, I was just so hype about it. It's My Stepsister from Planet Weird.
Oh, I don't think I watched that one.
Okay, she's like an alien, and her original form is like a bubble, and so she's afraid of hair dryers and wind. It's great. It's great.
Oh, also Xenon.
Xenon.
Special mention to Xenon.
Absolutely. And Smart House.
Yeah.
I love Disney Channel original movies.
Me too. We'll do some more on here. You guys just let us know which ones you like the best.
And one of my favorites is Halloween Town, which we did already cover during Halloween.
Mm-hmm. And Ice Princess. We're working through them.
Is Ice Princess a Disney Channel original? I always forget.
I think it is, yeah.
Ugh, I love that one too. Cadet Kelly had 7.8 million viewers on Disney Channel when it premiered.
That's huge.
That's huge. It made it one of the most watched Disney Channel movie premieres at the time.
Wow, I believe it. This, I feel like, is one of the few ones that everyone knows.
Yeah.
Even my dad the other day was asking what's coming up on the podcast, and I said Cadet Kelly, and he was like, I don't know if I've watched that, but I know what it's about.
He's like seen it in passing so many times when you were watching it.
Yeah.
That's funny. I bet High School Musical beat this, though, by the time that it came out. But yeah, I love that this one did so well. They filmed this movie in the summer of 2001. And I don't know why, but this movie always gives off summer vibes to me, even though it's kind of a back-to-school movie.
Me too.
So maybe that explains it, because they're outside, it's summertime.
Yeah, the vibes are giving summer, for sure.
And they filmed a lot of the movie at a military school in Canada called Robert Land Academy. And Hilary Duff was made an honorary cadet sergeant of the school during production.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I bet I wonder if the kids there were like, oh, this is cool. Like, that's Lizzie McGuire. Or if they were like, get her off. She doesn't deserve the title, you know?
I don't know. And Lizzie McGuire was in its like first season. So it wasn't, I don't know, not that many episodes had come out yet.
Okay.
And then I thought this was interesting too. The cast had to train like it was a real boot camp, and they had a military advisor, William T. Bates.
Wow, that's intense. Okay, I growing up always thought of military school as like where delinquent kids got sent by their parents.
Yes. It was the threat, right? It was always the threat, like, I'm going to send you to military school.
Yes.
Not from my parents personally, but like on TV and stuff.
No, but yes, and some of my friends' parents. I remember. But like this movie made me think like, oh, it's like it almost gives like boarding school vibes.
Yeah.
Like it's just something that like some like parents, especially parents in the military, would send their kids there. So this made me rethink the way that I grew up thinking about military school. I don't know. I just would be curious if you guys have the same opinion.
Is it both?
It could be, because like we'll talk about this, but Kelly in the movie, her best friend, was saying how she like didn't have a great home life. So I wonder if that's why she got sent there. I don't know.
Maybe it's just like any other kind of boarding school. Maybe there's just like a ton of reasons that you could go there, but it has a bad connotation because parents threaten their kids with it.
Yeah. Okay, should we talk about the cast?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about Hilary Duff, who plays Kelly.
We love Hilary Duff. We talk about her constantly on here.
Oh, yeah. I feel like every month we're like, okay, what's our Hilary Duff movie of the month?
I know. I'm sad for the day we run out.
It's going to be soon.
I know.
We're running through them.
So you guys know her well. We talked about her in our episodes on A Cinderella Story and the Lizzie McGuire movie. And we also talked about her feud with Lindsay Lohan in the Freaky Friday episode. So if you guys want a deep dive on her career and her personal life and her like dating / issues with Lindsay, we go in depth on those episodes.
Yeah, we deep dive. In this movie, she was about 13 when they filmed, maybe right about to turn 14. I was trying to figure it out.
A baby. And she like gives it. Like it's really cute. She's really cute in this movie.
Except still at the time, like when I was 13, I did not exude the confidence and charisma that Hilary Duff exuded.
No, me either. I mean, like the whole time I was watching this, even today, I was thinking Hilary Duff is giving 16 and then Christy Carlson Romano is giving 18.
Yeah.
And yet they were actually younger than that in real life. It reminded me a lot of the Lizzie McGuire movie.
Christy Carlson Romano, I think she was 17 at the time. So maybe that's why she just read older to you.
Yeah.
Hilary said that the hardest thing about training for this movie was saluting, and it took her the longest to get it right because you can't like break your wrist and there's like a certain way you have to hold your fingers. And then she said the guns were just a whole different story, which I can imagine.
That looked the hardest from the outside.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of behind the scenes videos of Hilary learning rifle twirling, and it's really cute.
Cool.
The military instructor, Andrea Bryant, said that Hilary was looking better at rifle twirling than most guys Andrea taught at the same level.
Wow. Go Hilary.
I know, I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said earlier, Cadet Kelly was filmed right as the last half of season 1 of Lizzie McGuire was airing. So it was right when she was becoming popular from that show. And I guess that Disney just knew that she was going to be really popular from that show. I don't know if the numbers were really good on Lizzie McGuire already. I imagine they were.
Could be. I feel like we talked about this maybe in the last song. Maybe I'm mixing it up. You can tell me. A lot of Disney Channel stars, I believe, get contracted for a certain number of movies. I feel like we've maybe talked about that because I feel like Miley maybe was saying she had one more movie committed and that's why she did the last song.
That's right.
And so it wouldn't surprise me if like when she signed on for Lizzie McGuire, they said, we also want you to do a certain number of Disney Channel movies. Since she ended up doing so many.
Yeah, maybe. That would make sense.
Mm.
And then she just, like, became an it girl, I feel like, from here onward.
I'm shook at how young she was when she would have been doing Lizzie McGuire. She would have been, like, 13, getting popular. That's crazy.
That is so crazy.
That's so little.
And I always just thought she was so old.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, she was, like, 17 always. You know what I mean?
Same. Like, the coolest babysitter age, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, come to think of it, it's crazy to me now that 13-year-olds are babysitters.
I know.
I'm like, I don't know if I want a 13-year-old watching my kid.
No, probably not. But I guess ask me when I need a babysitter.
Okay, true. Cadet Kelly really resonates with the LGBTQ plus community. And this was brought to Hilary Duff's attention in 2022. And she said, I have to watch the movie again. No one has brought that to my attention except for Tien Tron on How I Met Your Father, who plays Ellen. She was like, oh my God, Cadet Kelly is a moment in the queer community. All that close talking with Jennifer. I didn't know that, but if it helped anybody, I hope so.
Aw.
Yeah.
I love that quote. I love that she's like so open to that and excited about it.
I know, I liked that too. And then Christy Carlson Romano said, what I find interesting about the interpretation of the relationship between Kelly and Captain Stone is that there is a narrative that is in the culture right now that people are saying maybe they were in love. Maybe there was an undercurrent of tension between the two girls. It really helped a lot of girls identify their sexuality. The military has traditionally been strict about that stuff, and at the time that the movie came out, we were not talking about that stuff. This character, Captain Stone, was the sexual awakening for a lot of girls that felt that way at that age. I had a part in that. That's crazy. I never even thought about that. I'm very flattered.
Cool. That's great. I had no idea that this movie was like a moment in the queer community. I had no clue.
I also like that it was brought to the attention of both actors and they were able to comment on it and felt very positively about it.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I love that. I could see that though, actually, like hearing what they have to say now. If you identified as one of those girls in their like weird, tense hate friendship sort of dynamic that they have, I could see how that would be like you would see yourself in that. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, speaking of Christy Carlson Romano, let's talk about her. I can't believe we haven't talked about her yet.
Oh my gosh, I think we briefly mentioned her in passing in the Princess Diaries episode.
Mm-hmm.
She's Kim Possible, and she's also Ren in Even Stevens. I always forget that she's Kim Possible, I feel like.
I always forget that. Like until like when you just said that, I was like, oh, I knew that, but it was like deep in my brain, you know?
Yeah. And she's been really active online over the years, and she has several podcasts. Her recent one is called Big Names, and her co-host is Annalise Vanderpool from That's So Raven. She's Chelsea. Christy also owns the podcast company that's responsible for the Wizards of Waverly Pod and Ned's Declassified Podcast Survival Guide, which are both rewatch podcasts hosted by the cast of the shows. Which, by the way, the Ned's Declassified podcast, that has had some weird drama.
Really?
Yes.
Like what?
Mose from the show has said some things that people are very uncomfortable with knowing that happened on set or like behind the scenes.
Oh.
And so people are like, you put that podcast back where it came from.
Oh no.
I never needed to know this.
Wow. Okay.
Christy has really built her brand around talking about her Disney Channel days. And I've noticed that she's actually been getting a lot of hate lately for it.
Huh.
I think people just think she's profiting off of childhood trauma and stuff like that. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that or not, but personally, I loved looking at her content for this episode. We got a lot of good behind-the-scenes fun facts from her, so I'm excited to share them.
I was gonna say, I feel like she's one of the people that we always talk about loving, where they just like took their moment of childhood or teenage fame and like turned it into their future careers and just like really doubled down on it, as opposed to a lot of the people that we see who understandably try to like distance themselves from their like childhood stardom or teenage stardom. I haven't seen what a lot of people are saying negatively. I would need to look more into that to have a real opinion, but at face value, I love it when people are super into like the teeny bopper thing they did. I think that's funny and cool.
Yeah, and she's the queen of it. It's her whole entire brand now. I think out of everyone we've talked about, she wins.
Love it.
On her YouTube channel, she said, I was really nervous that Hilary wouldn't like me. Sometimes there can be pressure for women on set, even when they're young. She said she worried about this dynamic where one person is clearly the star and the other person is number two, which I guess was pretty common for movies at the time. But she says that Duff was a classy gal and so bubbly and fun, and they had a great friendship while filming, and Christy would go shopping and hang out with Hilary's family, but they didn't keep in touch. And she said, I was kind of hoping that I'd stay friends and stay close to Hilary, but she was so busy with her show, and I was too busy with my show. She also said she was worried about being typecast as the mean girl after this movie, so she says she worked with the producers to make the movie a story about friendship, which I feel like it really was.
It was. I think the way that her character changes in the end towards Kelly really saves it for me. So I could see how she was like, we need to work in some redeeming qualities.
Yeah. Also, we love these kind of fun facts. She had a crush on Shawn Ashmore, who plays Brad, the love interest in this movie.
Wow.
They even went on a couple of dates.
Wow, cute. He is cute. I get it. Am I allowed to say that? If he was above 18, he would be cute. I'm sure he grew up to be cute.
He was 21. You're safe.
Okay.
It's funny. I actually felt the opposite. I was like, man, this boy is giving nothing.
Really?
Like, he's supposed to be this point of contention for them the whole time, and I'm like, give me a little something more, Brad. This part is really sad, but Christy said that she had body image issues after Cadet Kelly, and after her and her mom watched footage of it, her mom said, Christy, if you want to get breast implants, I just want you to know that's an option.
Oh no.
I know. And she said that she loves her mom, and she's not saying that her mom was trying to be mean right there. But Christy did decide to go through with that after her 18th birthday, and she said it was because of how she looked in Cadet Kelly.
That makes me sad.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like obviously we're supportive of women choosing to get plastic surgery if they want to and it makes them feel more confident. I think that's great. But that makes me sad because she was so young, and to like do it out of a reaction of how she looked when literally thought did not even enter my mind.
No.
Any criticism of how any of them looked.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, it's kind of sad. In 2020, in a video, she said that she likes the message of this movie, and she says that it'll be the first thing that she shows her daughters that she's done when they're older, because their father is in the military, Hilary's character is really sweet, and Christy plays a woman in power, so she thinks it's a really good thing to show them.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I kind of like that she still thinks positively about the movie itself, even though maybe she didn't have the best experience with certain aspects of it.
Yeah. Okay, should we talk about Gary Cole?
Yes, he plays Sir.
Joe,
yes, that's Kelly's stepdad in the movie. He voiced Kim Possible's dad.
That's fun. He was deep in the Disney fam.
Yes, so Cadet Kelly actually came out a few months before Kim Possible, but it's cool that Gary and Christy worked together beyond Cadet Kelly.
That is really cool.
He's also from Office Space, Talladega Nights, The West Wing, and Veep.
Wow, okay, he went on to do a bunch of stuff. Love that.
And that was just a small portion of what he's done.
Okay, should we talk about Andrea Lewis, who plays Carla, who is Kelly's best friend when she gets to military school?
I love her character in this movie.
Me too. Their friendship is really cute.
Did you ever watch Degrassi?
No.
Okay, Carla plays Hazel. You know Drake was in Degrassi, right?
Yep.
Hazel was Drake's girlfriend.
Okay.
In the show.
Love it.
I never really watched it. I watched like maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but I know enough about the cast. And I thought that was funny. She said, I really loved playing Carla. I thought she was such a fun character, and I worked really hard on her backstory. Her character description was nothing like me. I wanted to come across authentic, and luckily I booked it.
She definitely came across authentic to me. Like, I totally would buy that she has a similar personality in real life, so that's cool.
Yeah, and I don't feel like she had a lot of screen time in this movie. She had a decent amount, but her story was not the main one. But I definitely wanted more of her, and maybe it is because she really spent some time on her backstory.
Yeah, she was one of my favorite characters for sure.
I love that. She also had great things to say about working with Hilary, and says that Hilary's mom encouraged her and her mom to come out to LA and set her up with Hilary's agent.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Wow, I've never heard anything about Hilary Duff's mom. So then for multiple of her castmates to like say that they liked Hilary's family is really cool.
I feel like her mom was just really involved, and maybe that's why Hilary, as far as we know, seemed to have a pretty decent experience being on Disney Channel and being a child actor.
Yeah.
And I think that probably made a difference. Kind of the same thing with Miranda Cosgrove on Nickelodeon. I think her parents were really involved.
And like involved in a positive way.
Positive way, yeah, like protecting her.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Andrea is the creator and producer of The Black Beauty Effect, which is a docuseries on Netflix that came out recently about how Black women have shaped the culture of beauty and how the beauty industry has tried to exclude them throughout history.
Wow, I need to watch that.
Yeah, so she's doing really cool, impactful work nowadays.
Love that. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about Shawn Ashmore, who plays Brad, the love interest of the two main girls.
He's from Animorphs, The Boys, and X-Men.
The Boys?
Yeah. Oh, who is he in The Boys? Hold on.
I'm looking. Let's see.
I don't know if he's a big character or not.
Lamplighter. Oh, I remember him. Not a big character.
I feel like this was one of his main lead roles that he got in something,
Yeah.
as far as I could tell.
Yeah, I feel like actually one of his bigger roles might actually be Lamplighter from The Boys, but I think he's a decent part in season 2.
Okay.
But not like one of the main cast that continues.
Yeah, so maybe you guys have seen him again. He was 21 when they filmed, like I said, and he's still acting, but he also has a multi-tool company. I saw it on his Instagram. It's like bottle opener tools and knives and boy stuff that I don't fully understand.
Stuff, tools, yeah.
Tools. He seems very into it. Good for him.
Love it.
He also has an identical twin, Aaron,
Whoa.
who is also an actor. Also, side note, they have the exact same tattoo, too.
Whoa.
So you really maybe can't tell them apart. Not sure.
Yeah. Identical.
Yeah.
Wait, this is Hamilton actor Shawn Ashmore. What? Oh, he's in Jeni in Georgia, Smallville. Wait, I need to know Hamilton. Hang on.
Megan is a big Hamilton fan.
Big Hamilton fan. Okay. It doesn't, no, I think he just went to a school named Hamilton.
Oh. Disappointing.
Yeah. There's just a couple of like articles that start with Hamilton actor Shawn Ashmore, but I don't think it has anything to do with the Hamilton, unfortunately.
Darn. But it's very possible that you've seen Aaron in things thinking that it was Shawn and vice versa. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Definitely.
Double trouble in the acting world.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he dated Michelle Trachtenberg from Ice Princess for a while.
Wow.
I know. Didn't expect that. Have seen pictures of them together. They're cute.
Cute.
Andrea Lewis and Christy Carlson Romano had a reunion together recently on Christy's podcast, and both said that Shawn was super polite and really chill at the time of filming this movie, and that everyone loved him.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's great to hear.
Okay, should we get into the movie?
Let's do it.
So when the movie starts, we're at New York Middle School of the Arts, and Kelly Collins, that's Hilary Duff, and her friends are like dancing around campus with these colorful streamers, and they're performing for their class. So immediately we get the vibe, not a normal school. And her teacher asks her about her family project, and she says she's decided to do a video documentary.
Just as she's saying this, a guy appears with a video camera to record her. She waves and says, "Hi, Dad," and as she does, he accidentally falls off the wall that he's walking on. And Kelly says to her teacher, "I've decided to show the world the way family really works." So we're starting a trend of clumsiness in the family here.
Mm-hmm.
This is moment 1. And fun fact, her dad is played by Nigel Hamer, I think that's how you say it, who was also in Degrassi like Andrea Lewis.
Wow. Oh, I love that a bunch of these people have worked together in other things. That's cool.
I know. I love that too. He played Toby's dad, if anybody has watched that show.
Then after school, Kelly films her dad on a camcorder as they walk home, and she asks him to tell the camera where he's going. And he says that he's going to Chad, Sudan, Myanmar, and Thailand because he's a photojournalist. And then Kelly records her dad getting a hot dog from a hot dog stand and says, "Dad, divorced, alone, yet having a terrific time. He knows he has me, the light of his life." So they have this like really fun kind of bantery dynamic, and we can tell they're really close.
Then Kelly and her dad go to her mom's office, and her mom is in there on the phone, and it's a much different vibe than what we get from her dad. Her mom is like very serious and working. And Kelly says, "Mom, a worker, a mother. She has me, the light of her life." And her mom is on the phone, and Kelly is just right up in her face with a camcorder.
Quick pause to say, I know we talked about this in Legally Blonde too, but I feel like this falls into the category of like blonde girlies just living and being unashamed of anything. Like the Barbie, the Legally Blonde Kelly from Cadet Kelly is the same, cut from the same cloth.
Agree. Wow, you're so right.
And it's like the same formula of this girl being put in a really unfamiliar environment and just like being so unashamed to be there and then adjusting wonderfully.
And changing the environment around her and getting people to like get on her side, you know?
Yep. So Kelly and her dad are in Kelly's mom's office, and Kelly's dad sees a picture of a man in a military uniform and says, "The general, he looks very important." And Kelly's mom says, "He is to me." And then Kelly gushes about how cute her mom and the general are together. And then she records her parents and says they're a nuclear family who once exploded, as gently as possible.
This is so cute to me because I feel like It's very often that you'll see, especially kids' movies, they'll portray divorced families and like the new step parent to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be like, I don't know, The Parent Trap, for instance, Meredith Blake. I love that in this movie, Kelly is just like fully supportive of her mom's new marriage and can still have a relationship with everyone.
Yeah, there's no pining for her to have her parents get back together. She's just sort of like, I love the way that we are, the way that we are now, you know?
Yeah, I love that. As Kelly jumps around filming her parents, she accidentally knocks over a fish bowl, and then she and her dad rescue the fish. Her mom later tells her, maybe you should slow down just a little bit. And Kelly says her dad says art is something you just feel and do. You don't think about it.
She's the most confident 13, 14-year-old I've ever seen, ever.
Hands down.
Yeah. So then the general comes to the door and kisses Kelly's mom. And Kelly gets right up in their faces to record them. And when the general turns away from the kiss, she accidentally hits him in the nose with the camcorder and it starts bleeding.
So tragic. At dinner, her mom says she and the general want to get married and settle down. And Kelly says, maybe someday you will. Her mom says, honey, we're not asking you. And the general says, we're telling you. But he kind of smiles a little bit, like he's not being mean at all. He's just a very serious man.
Yeah.
And they say they're planning a summer wedding. Kelly's voiceover says she's happy for them both and they're good for each other. Then she asks what she should call him, and he says, Joe. Sir. Your choice. And she chooses to call him Sir and says if he's going to be part of their family, he needs to learn how to slouch a little. And then you see him try to slouch a little bit, but you can tell he just does not know how.
I know.
It's really cute.
So then the next day, Kelly's mom tells Sir that she hasn't told Kelly something yet, but that she's going to tell her herself. So we get the vibe something's up. And so then Kelly and her mom go shopping, and her mom tells her that Sir has a new job and it's one that he's always wanted. Her mom says they'll be moving upstate to a place that has no takeout. And Kelly does not take this well, and she especially does not want to leave her fun art school. And her mom says that her new school has very high standards and that Sir will be the principal. And she says the structure will be good for Kelly, and then she drops the bomb. It's actually a military school. Yikes.
Yikes. I think Kelly goes, military school? And for some reason, I just always remember that quote. I don't know if it was in the trailer or what. We cut to Kelly's room, and Kelly's best friend from art school, Amanda, helps her pack and asks her to promise she won't like it better there than she does here in New York City. And Kelly says, no chance of that. They wear uniforms. They go to a school where they learn about military strategy. They sit in desks. And then we get the iconic scene where she and her friend repeatedly scoff back and forth.
Yeah, you guys will remember this. It's where she's like, and they're like doing that back and forth together. It's very like cute teenage girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did it perfectly.
Oh, thank you. So then Kelly arrives at George Washington Military Academy, and she's wearing this very colorful outfit and these platform sandals. And she is not impressed. She's like looking around, and we just see people in uniforms and people practicing like their sort of gun routine with the drill team, and she's not into it. We see her drag her suitcase across the whole campus, and we see this very intimidating girl in uniform, who is Christy Carlson Romano, and that girl is just watching Kelly.
Then Kelly gets to the girls' bunk. I believe this is the barracks, right? They call this the barracks.
I think so.
And all of the girls stare at her. And then a girl named Carla, played by Andrea Lewis, introduces herself and tells Kelly she's going to like it here. Kelly says she can't believe she has to sleep in a place that doesn't have any decent art on the walls.
The girls in the bunk complain that Captain Stone is going to destroy them this year, and they explain to Kelly that Captain Stone is their squad leader and the meanest 16-year-old in America. The girls also talk about how much they love a cadet major named Brad and wish that he would choose them over Captain Stone.
I also think they say something like, she has a buzzard as a pet.
I think they do, yeah.
Makes me laugh. Kelly unpacks her rainbow blanket. It's like her comfort blanket that she's had probably since she was a baby. And Carla warns her that it's not regulation to have that. Kelly says she wants to maintain her individuality here. And then we hear, 10 hut, and Captain Stone, played by Christy Carlson Romano, comes into the bunk, and all the girls stand at attention. But Kelly doesn't notice this, and she's just busy straightening her blanket on the bed. And Captain Stone takes it from her and says, I'm sorry. Did I accidentally snatch this ratty old thing from you? And Kelly says, in my experience, people don't snatch accidentally. And it's not ratty. Captain Stone raises her eyebrow. I also feel like that look was iconic for some reason.
Totally.
Then she throws the blanket on the floor and rubs her combat boot in it. And she says, it is now. And then she yells, and keep it out of my barracks. And then she says, again, iconic, you're on my list, maggot. And she will call her maggot throughout this whole movie. And Kelly goes, you'd be on mine if I had a list. And Captain Stone says, I'll pretend you didn't say that, and marches away.
Carla tells Kelly that there will be trouble ahead for her, and Kelly says there will be trouble ahead for her too. She just completely does not get the whole ranking system here, Kelly says some things are going to have to change around here. Carla says she doesn't think she's going to change a school that's been around for 100 years. Says her advice is to not cross Jennifer, aka Captain Stone. Kelly's voiceover says, it was totally clear to me that George Washington Military Academy needed to become a kinder, gentler school, and it was up to me to do it.
The next morning, a boy plays the trumpet, and he does that military song that's like, do 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 do. I cannot do it right now.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Totally, yeah.
My dad used to wake me up with that, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, every morning. And Kelly falls out of bed. And then she shows up at inspection on the campus lawn wearing a bunch of bracelets and a blue scarf with her uniform. And Carla motions for her to take them off. And finally she gives in and stuffs her hat with them.
Then Jennifer comes up to Kelly and calls her a maggot. And when Kelly salutes her, she accidentally knocks off her hat with all the bracelets and scarf stuffed inside. So they fly everywhere. And then just as Jennifer is about to yell at Kelly, Carla says that she volunteers to teach the maggot military protocol and terminology. Jennifer says, do it fast and tell her about the crocodile I wrestled.
Carla and Kelly walk together and Carla teaches her about the military. While they're walking, they pass Jennifer, who watches a boy with her friend, Sergeant Gloria Ramos. She asks Gloria how her hair is, and this is the first time we see her actually being a teenage girl.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly asks Carla, whoa, is that Brad or the cutest boy I've ever seen? Or both? She says he looks just like a rock star, and she would know because she was this close to NSYNC. Carla says he's Jennifer's man, and they'll be going to the welcome back dance together on Friday. All Kelly hears, though, is that there's going to be a dance.
So then we see Jennifer work up the courage to ask Brad to the dance, and she starts to walk up to him. Kelly sees her do this, and immediately decides that Kelly is going to ask him to the dance too. So then the girls eye each other and they're fast walking both across the lawn to try to get to Brad first. And Kelly beats Jennifer and walks up and just salutes Brad. And he salutes her back and then walks away.
It's so strange.
And his friends ask him what that was all about, and he says that he has no idea. It's a weird interruption, but I think she's just trying to get back at Jennifer. I don't know.
I think she's trying to be look, you're not the only person here who has a chance with Brad.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it is the weirdest scene, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Very memorable, though. And Jennifer just looks so shocked that Kelly did that. And Kelly just salutes her, and Jennifer begrudgingly and pretty angrily salutes her back. Then Kelly walks back to a very stunned Carla, who just doesn't understand how she had the audacity to do this.
Yeah.
And Kelly says, I thought she'd be happy about how quickly I was learning.
Suffice it to say, Kelly is having a very hard time fitting in school. She's standing and sitting at the wrong times when teachers come in. She's telling her teacher that she's a conscientious objector, aka someone who's claimed the right to refuse working for the military. And she says that at her old school, they used to do math whenever they felt like it.
Her old school sounds pretty cool.
I know, I want to go there.
And then we're back in the barracks, and girls are showing off their dresses for the dance on Friday. And Kelly notices Carla sitting sadly on her bed, and she tells Carla to take a walk with her. As they walk, they watch the drill team twirl their rifles, and Kelly says she believes in gun control. Then Carla gets nervous and says the commandant is coming. And it's Sir! The girls salute him, and he asks where they're going. And Kelly says they're going home to pick out dresses for the dance. And I don't know why, but I expected him to be no, you can't leave campus.
I know, me too.
But instead he goes, be sure to pick out some nice ones. And Kelly says, see ya, Joe. And Carla is just so shocked that she talked to him like that. And then Kelly finally explains that he is her stepdad. Carla says she should tell Jennifer because she'd go way easier on her if she knew. But Kelly says Jennifer is her own battle.
Then Carla and Kelly show up at Kelly's new house, aka the commandant's residence, so it's basically on campus. And Carla meets Kelly's mom, and they pick out a dress for her to wear. It's like really cute where Kelly pulls out a bunch of her own dresses because she knows that Carla doesn't have something to wear. And Kelly says, maybe there is a feminine side to military life. And then we cut to her in her camo uniform falling face first in the mud. It's unfortunate.
It is. So Kelly is doing an obstacle course with the rest of the school, and Jennifer harasses her the entire time because she's not very good at completing these obstacles. Kelly stops to admire Brad, who's effortlessly getting through everything, and Jennifer pulls her ear. And then Kelly really has a hard time crawling in mud under barbed wire, and then she climbs up on this platform and gets too scared to come down because she's afraid of heights, and Jennifer yells at her. Kelly finally comes down after everyone leaves, and Jennifer makes her run the whole course again with Sergeant Gloria Ramos until she does it right. This means that Kelly will miss the dance. And Jennifer says, "What are you going to do about it? Tell your stepfather?" So now we know that Jennifer knows that the commandant is her stepdad, and she is not fazed.
While Kelly is doing the course that night, it starts to rain, and she says, "Why me?" And her voiceover says that Sergeant Gloria Ramos is tough, but that she doesn't have the look of hatred that Jennifer has. So Kelly decides she's going to find the real Gloria, and apologizes that she's missing the dance for her, but Gloria says she doesn't dance anyway. Then while Kelly struggles with crawling under the barbed wire, Gloria tells her when she does it, she imagines she's back on a beach in Ponce, where the sand is soft and warm. Kelly tells Gloria that that's pure poetry. Gloria shows her the right way to crawl under the wire, and then they do it together, which is like a really cute moment. It's Kelly's personal best, and she says she hopes to show Gloria that good times aren't for chumps. And Gloria says, "You can try." And we can tell that she's like very endeared to Kelly now after this whole experience, and Kelly talking to her like a real person, you know? And we know this because Gloria starts laughing while Kelly like squeals and runs off to the dance in her full like muddy camo uniform.
I love her.
I know.
Then because Kelly is very clumsy like her dad, she trips and rolls down a hill, through the doors of the dance and straight into Jennifer, covering her white dress in mud. And everyone cheers, and Brad says, "At least someone knows how to get down and dirty." Which I was like, what do you mean by that? Are you talking about dancing? I don't know. And then Jennifer stomps away.
I feel like we never get the impression that Brad actually likes Jennifer.
Yeah.
We also don't really get the impression that he likes Kelly. I think maybe he thinks that she's like cute and endearing, but like I don't think he actually likes either of these girls at all.
It's very much like in Aquamarine when JoJo and Emma Roberts' character love the older lifeguard, and he would never be interested in them because they're so young.
Yeah.
But he's still nice to them. That's kind of the vibe I get.
Yeah, definitely.
In Christy Carlson Romano's 2020 rewatch of this scene, she was like, "My boyfriend seems to think that's hilarious." And she's referring to Kelly getting her white dress all dirty. And then she goes, "I don't know what piece of garbage he is. Why does he think that's so funny? I think we need to ditch Brad. Brad kind of sucks."
Kelly has to go to the commandant's office the next day, and he says that he's not happy about her performance in the first week, and she says she's not happy with it either, and asks him if he knows about the group of people who throw around rifles like robots. He looks at some of the trophies behind her and says he was one of those robots when he was in school. He says her teachers are finding her lack of discipline problematic, and she needs to learn how to be an individual at the service of a larger group. Then he dismisses her, and I think in a moment where he realizes he's being a little bit harsh in this lecture, he tells her to just go home and that she should tell her mom that he'll be there shortly.
When Kelly leaves his office, she calls her dad and leaves a message telling him that she's allergic to the country. She decides that she's going to tell her mom that she wants to quit school, and at home she asks if she can sit in her mom's lap because she has something to tell her. Her mom says she has something to tell her too, and tells her she's pregnant. She says she'll love Kelly and the baby, but she'll always have loved Kelly longer. Kelly gets excited when her mom tells her that she can paint the baby's room. She gives her like a whole bunch of paints to paint the nursery. It's really cute. And when her mom asks what she was going to tell her, Kelly covers and says Carla is turning out to be a good friend. And her voiceover says, "I couldn't tell her I wanted to quit school. We couldn't bring a baby into this world among even 1 ounce of chaos." Which is so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Then Sir comes home and congratulates Kelly on becoming a big sister, and then he offers her a handshake. And Kelly thinks, "A handshake?" Suddenly, it dawned on me that Sir wasn't ready to be a father yet, and then she adds it to her mental list to help Sir step into his fatherly role, support her mom, and convince the military to let people use blankets.
She's so, like, oldest daughter, you know? Like, she says
Yes.
repeatedly throughout this movie, like, I knew it was up to me. When it's like, you can tell your mom that you're having a hard time at school. Like, you don't have to save face to, like, protect the family dynamic, you know?
Right.
It makes me kind of sad for her, but also it's so endearing to have her be like, I'm going to change the military school by myself, you know?
And she just always says, I have to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, like she's resigned that she's the only one who can do it.
Which, as a fellow control freak, I relate to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is oldest daughter behavior for sure, and we both
Yeah.
can relate.
At inspections the next morning, Kelly looks up to code, and Jennifer says she knows something has to be wrong here. Kelly says, ma'am, no, ma'am. And Jennifer says she got away with it this time, whatever it is. And then she spies Kelly's blanket poking out from under her pillow. She says she believes she said she never wanted to see this ratty thing in her barracks again, and rips the blanket up into little pieces. And she says, and now I won't. Sweet dreams, maggot. And we can see Kelly getting like really upset and trying to hide it. This broke my heart.
It's so sad. I cannot imagine.
This is where Jennifer is just irredeemable to me.
I could see why. I get it. And that night you do see Kelly sleeping with all of the scraps of her blanket. It's so sad.
Mm-hmm.
And then she decides to sneak into Jennifer's room with her paints. And we see Jennifer emerge the next day and everyone is laughing at her. And she has these colorful stripes painted in her hair and she screams. It's like that blood-curdling Disney scream that you always get in movies. And I didn't know this, but the painted hair was a clip-on, which I thought made sense.
That's for the best.
Yep, for the best, for sure.
We see Kelly standing on top of the platform on the obstacle course again, and Jennifer motions for her to come down. And Kelly rappels down almost perfectly this time, whereas last time she was like tumbling down. And then Jennifer gives Kelly a citation, which means she'll have to appear in cadet court. And this is because of the hair incident.
Sir and Kelly's mom get in a small argument about how Kelly is jeopardizing the job that he's wanted all his life. And when he leaves, Kelly cries to her mom and says she didn't mean to. Her mom tells her she's going to have to apologize to the court and says maybe they shouldn't have come here. And Kelly says, you never asked me if I wanted to come here. Sad.
Sad. In cadet court, Jennifer reads off all of Kelly's violations, including dress code. And Brad is like presiding over the hearing. And he is just kind of over it. He's just sort of like, stop reading the violations, like, give me the evidence. And he makes Jennifer remove her cap because technically it's a violation for her to be wearing a cap in court. And really, he's just doing it because he wants to see her painted hair. And then Kelly is found guilty. And so she has to go get sentenced by Sir.
Sir tells her that her punishment is to be equipment manager on the drill team. So she'll learn more about respect for property and what the robot group is all about. He says in 1970, they came in third place when he was on the team, and they haven't done that well since.
Then Kelly gets a call from her dad while he's walking through some water, but he can't really hear anything that she's saying. And then he says that he has to go, and he takes a picture and falls in the water. So just another point to show how sort of like careless and kind of clumsy her dad is, but that he's always like off on an adventure for his job.
Kelly works on shining boots for the drill team, and she sings, I don't know what I've been told, Jennifer's heart is mighty cold. And Brad comes in and says, how cold? And startles her. Then he shows her how to properly shine the shoes by spitting on them and tells her she makes him laugh. When he leaves, we see her spit on a shoe, and Jennifer sees this and kind of thinks she's a weirdo and walks away.
Then Kelly watches drill practice and is very impressed with them. Her voiceover says it hit her that this was like Swan Lake, but with rifles instead of tutus. She says it's so beautiful.
In the barracks, Carla agrees to help Kelly shine equipment. She tells Kelly she's lucky to be here. Home wasn't what she would have picked out, and this place is like heaven on earth for her. Kelly invites Carla over for dinner and a sleepover on Friday.
The next day, Kelly runs up to Brad while her and Carla are shining some shoes, and she asks him to borrow some spit for the shoe that she's shining, and she promises to pay him back, which I'm like, she's trying to be flirty. It's kind of funny.
The flirting is so cringy.
I know. It really is. Honestly, almost everything that comes out of Kelly's mouth is cringe, but it's like, that's why it's perfect, you know?
Yeah, but we love her for it.
Then Jennifer interrupts and asks Brad to help her with some drill team moves so they can win. And Kelly says she brings good luck to things and that people rub her head for luck. She like puts her head over for Brad to rub it like a dog. Then when they leave, Kelly grabs a rifle and tries to spin it, and she keeps dropping it, but then she gets it right one time. She actually catches it, and you can tell she's proud of herself.
Then it's before the competition, and Jennifer's belt breaks, and Kelly runs out to save the day with a spare. Kelly admires the team while they perform, and the team does a really good job, but then we see the competitor high school perform, and they are more impressive.
Jennifer yells at the team afterward and tells them they need more practice, but Brad says they don't need more practice. They need originality and creativity. He dismisses everyone, and Kelly does this goofy dance for him with a rifle to cheer him up, and Brad tells her to do it again, and you can tell it gives him an idea.
Then Kelly stops Gloria and tries to give her a friendship bracelet, a scarf from Nepal, and some other bracelets and things. Gloria is kind of skeptical about why she's doing this, and Kelly asks her to be her coach to help her try out for the drill team, and she says this is how she plans to pay her. Gloria grabs the scarf, and Kelly's voiceover says, "Once again, I'd seen it proven true. Accessories are a girl's best friend."
Gloria drills Kelly on everything she needs to know for drill team, and we see her progressively get better and better until Gloria says that she's ready for tryouts. And Kelly screams when she says this and hugs Gloria, and we see Gloria actually smile with her teeth.
Yay!
Yay!
So Kelly tries out for drill team, and the next morning she checks the roster to see if she made the team, and before she can check, she gets summoned to Sir's office, and he says that it's come to his attention that she tried out for the drill team without his knowledge. We think she's in trouble, until he says that with Brad's recommendation, she made the team. He tells her how proud he is of her, and she asks if they should hug, salute, or shake or something. He offers his hand for a handshake, and she says he has some lessons to learn. She says, "We have a baby to raise, sir. Babies can't salute." Then she gives him a whole spiel, and he tells her that she can teach him.
I love that she always refers to the baby as their baby.
Yeah.
And she's like, "We are going to have a baby."
Yeah.
It's really cute.
It's so cute.
We see Jennifer outside clapping and stomping, preparing for a new routine for the drill team. And Kelly follows her and does these moves too. And they have this extraordinarily awkward dance-off. Guys, it's almost like step team, but it's like not, because it's not really dancing. It's like really structured stepping. And I don't know. It's hard to explain. But if you guys remember it, you will remember it.
Yes. Iconic. They
do this for several minutes, and there's this like jazz music playing in the background. And Brad sees and says that they should incorporate these moves into their routine for the competition.
I just remember this scene being so cool at the time.
This is what shook me the most rewatching this, was how cringe the part of the routine that is like this like weird solo like step routine thing is. It's so awkward.
And I just remember them being the coolest. And I think part of it has to do with the jazz music that's playing. That's not the original music. The original song used for the scene was Relating to a Psychopath by Macy Gray, and they either lost the rights to the song or they removed it because it had the word psychopath in it.
That's a bummer, because I think a change in music might help this.
Yeah, I tried to listen to it with the original song, and it definitely improved things. It was still awkward, but it improved things. But the jazz music, it's like elevator music that they're stomping and clapping to. It's not cool.
It's not it. Later, Kelly approaches Jennifer and says she has some ideas for their routine. Jennifer says she probably already told Brad her ideas, and Kelly says, "Ma'am, no ma'am, you're my partner and commanding officer. I work with you." And Jennifer very much respects this and gives her permission to discuss her ideas.
Yay.
Yay. This is like the first time I feel like the girls have an inkling of friendship, you know?
Totally. Then Kelly's dad shows up for dinner after his travels abroad, and he hugs and spins Kelly around. And Sir watches how they act together, and you can tell it makes him think, because like he's so strict and serious. And then he's seeing how like lovey Kelly and her dad are, and it just makes him think. At the dinner table, Kelly's dad says he'll make it to her big drill team competition, but he has to shoot some photos at Rockbridge Point first. He says he'll synchronize their watches and will be there at 11.
And now we're at the regionals competition. Kelly sees her best friend Amanda from back in New York, and they do this like the same squealing back and forth like ha 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 thing. That time wasn't as good, but you guys know what I mean. Kelly introduces Amanda to everyone as her truest and best friend. And this is so sad because we see Carla's face fall and she walks away, and Sir sees this whole thing happen.
Oh, my heart broke for Carla in this scene.
But also just like, it just reminds me how fragile we are when we're this young. Because now it's just like, you can have multiple best friends. And like someone being introduced to me as someone else's best friend, I don't think I would feel threatened, really. But I definitely remember being like 14, and that would be a huge deal.
Yeah, like nowadays I call everyone my best friend if they're my friends
Me too.
in any capacity.
Yeah.
But I remember this being such a big deal when I was a kid.
Yeah, so you're only allowed one.
Yeah, and like friend jealousy and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they captured that really well. The first part of the competition is inspection, where the drill team has to answer questions they're asked. And Kelly is able to answer every single question perfectly. She does awesome. And then she scans the audience for her dad, but he isn't there. But it's after 11, so this is kind of fishy. The team gets a perfect score on their inspection phase. Then Kelly gets a phone call from her dad, but no one is on the other line. And so now double fishy. She knows that something's up. The team gets mad at her for even having a phone at the competition. If it had gone off during inspection, they would have been disqualified. So rightfully so, they're pretty mad at her for not having her phone on silent.
Mm-hmm.
But she says her dad is the only one who calls her on it, and it's only when he really needs to talk to her. And Carla says, maybe your truest friend can help you out of this one. Kelly realizes what she said and apologizes, saying she wasn't thinking when she said that.
Kelly's obviously getting progressively more nervous that her dad isn't there. Their team is lined up for the next part of their competition, and Sir notices that Kelly isn't acting right, not fully like herself. And he asks her what's wrong, and she says she's worried that her father is hurt. She says her father is known to take chances, and he asks if she wants to go look for him, but she says no because she doesn't want to let her team down, and she doesn't want to let Sir down, and she knows how important the competition is to him.
Aww.
But Sir tells her that she doesn't just have a duty to her team, she also has a duty to her father, and then they both leave to go look for him. He just excuses her from the competition. This is a really sweet moment between them where you can tell how much Kelly really wants to make Sir proud, and Sir sees it, and I think because of that, he's like, no, this, like, making sure your dad is safe is obviously way more important.
It's so sweet. I love that he does this.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly and Sir get to Rockbridge Point, and Kelly runs around calling for her dad. In the woods, she finds his camera bag, and she climbs up some rocks and sees that her dad has fallen and is passed out on a ledge below. Sir calls a rescue team and an ambulance, and Kelly says she's going to rappel down to her dad. And when Sir asks her to wait for the rescue team, Kelly says she can't leave her father alone. And then she says he can't do it because he's too heavy. It has to be her.
Sir helps her get set up, and Kelly starts rappelling down the side of the cliff, and Sir coaches her all the way down. We see her slip a little bit at one point, but she doesn't want Sir to pull her back up. She wants to keep going. And as she's rappelling down, she realizes the rope is too short for her to make it down to her dad, so she decides to let go and jump down the rest of the way. Her dad wakes up and says that first step's a doozy, and they hug, and Kelly yells up to Sir that the situation is under control.
I just love that she was able to conquer her fear here. It's so satisfying.
And you can tell Sir is so proud that, like, he's like, no, we should wait for the rescue team, and she's like, no, Sir, I was trained for this. Like, I can help him.
It's so cute.
He had said so much earlier in her just like time at the school about how she needed to learn how to be in service to the group or like to the team, and to see her say that she wants to stay at the drill competition and then also like do something that scares her to help save her dad. I feel like just showcases that she did everything that he asked. It's very sweet.
It is very sweet. The rescue team comes and they put Kelly's dad on a stretcher. Sir says, well done, and Kelly salutes. But then he pulls her into a hug and kisses her on the cheek. Yay. Kelly's voiceover says that at that moment, she knew Sir was ready to have this baby. Then she tells her dad and Sir that if she had a camera, she'd show her dad and her dad. Both brave, both safe, and both hers. 2 dads, Sir says. And then he tells her that she can have 2 best friends too.
I could cry.
So sweet.
It's so sweet. And I love that Kelly's dad is not threatened by this. Like the whole time Kelly's dad is just smiling at Sir. Like they finally like have a good thing going, you know?
Totally. And I feel like it could be so easy for a parent to be threatened by a step-parent.
Of course, yeah.
So this is great.
Back at regionals, the team is down by 5 points, and Brad says that Kelly and Jennifer are their only hope to win because the next section is like the little step dancing section. But Kelly isn't there, and Jennifer says, I knew it. I knew she was just a... But then Kelly cuts in and says, maggot. Sir tells everyone that Kelly was excused from the regulation phase that she missed. Kelly salutes Brad and says, "Cadet Kelly Collins reporting for duty, sir, and expecting to win."
Kelly apologizes to Carla and says, "It's not that I like Amanda better. It's just that I've liked her longer," which is exactly what Kelly's mom said to her about the baby. And then Carla forgives her and they hug.
The whole time she was saying that, I was like, this would not make me feel better.
No.
Because at no point is she like, "I'm just as good of friends with you." Like, there's nothing reassuring. She truly just says, "It's not that I like Amanda better. I just have liked her longer."
Right.
And to me, that's just like backing up why you said that Amanda's your best friend. So I'm confused because she literally says that and then she's like, "Friends." And Carla's like, "Friends." And they hug. I'm like, wait. How did we resolve that?
I like how we're like, yeah, we wouldn't be offended that she said this about her best friend, but we would be offended that she didn't reassure me more that she likes me.
But I still need more words of affirmation. Okay.
I do.
And I also just like, I hate that they didn't tell anyone that they were going to save Kelly's dad. They just disappear. They tell no one. And then when they get back, there's no explanation. It's just Sir saying, "I've excused Kelly," which makes it look like such nepotism.
Yeah.
That he's favoring her and like excusing it when the whole team is mad because now they're down 5 points, probably because they couldn't do a section of their routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, just weird.
Agreed.
Then Jennifer and Kelly do their marchy clappy dance thing for the judges to the song "One Girl Revolution," which I love that song choice.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like they're crushing it. The crowd is very into it. And then they pull out colorful streamers like Kelly had at the beginning of the movie at art school. This is what I remember more than anything else from this movie. The streamers.
The streamers, yeah. Funny that they're only in it for 1 second.
I know. Then they end their routine saluting and smiling, and the crowd goes wild.
That's what I remember is them just like saluting at the end and smiling and the camera like rotating around them.
Mm-hmm.
Then everyone waits eagerly to hear the winners. And it's the closest voting since the competition began, and George Washington Military Academy gets second place, only missing first by 1 point to the high school that they competed against earlier in the movie. Since they medaled, they're going to nationals. But a lot of the team are still bummed, and Kelly says it's her fault. And Jennifer says she's right. If she had never joined the team, they never would have gotten this far. And Kelly hugs her, which makes her uncomfortable.
Kelly says next year will be even better, but then Jennifer breaks the news to her that she won't be there next year because her father got transferred to Europe and she'll be moving. But then she says she has one wish for Kelly, that you become a platoon leader and have to deal with a little maggot just like you. And Kelly laughs and Jennifer smiles. Then
the team marches out and Sir salutes Kelly, and Kelly puts her rifle down and salutes him back. And that's the end.
Yay!
Yay, it was so cute.
So cute. I love this one. I'm sure you guys also love this movie. I feel like this is such an iconic Disney Channel original movie from our time.
Definitely.
And Hilary Duff. We know you guys love Hilary Duff as much as us.
I know. This was so good to rewatch.
As a little bonus treat for all of you that just made it to the very end of the episode, we can give you a little sneak peek at next week's episode because it's another iconic Disney Channel original movie. Next week, we're going to be talking about High School Musical 2.
Yay, I cannot wait.
I know, it's going to be really cute. It's a really, really good one. And the perfect summer movie.
If you guys are hype about that one, let us know.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.